During our stay in Helsingborg, we decided to head north for a day trip to one of the most beautiful natural areas in southern Sweden, Kullaberg Nature Reserve. To get there, we hopped on a bus toward the small coastal town of Mölle, the gateway to the reserve. Along the way, we passed huge fields covered in bright yellow flowers. Once we arrived in Mölle, we stopped for breakfast at a cozy cafe near the harbor, complete with grapevines hanging across the ceiling overhead. Before heading into the reserve, we wandered through the town past traditional Swedish homes, including one with a grass-covered roof that looked like something straight out of a fairy tale. Mölle itself has an interesting history. In the early 1900s, it became famous across Sweden because men and women were allowed to swim together here, something considered surprisingly scandalous at the time. From the harbor, we caught another bus farther up into Kullaberg Nature Reserve itself. The reserve sits on a rugged peninsula that stretches into the Øresund Strait and is known for its dramatic cliffs, sea caves, rocky coastline, and hiking trails. Near the visitor center, we explored exhibits about the local wildlife, including a giant whale bones, crabs, fish, and sea creatures native to the waters surrounding the peninsula. Outside, a white flowering tree stood near the cliffs overlooking the sea, while the Kullen lighthouse rose above the rocky coastline in the distance. The lighthouse has guided ships through these dangerous waters since the late 1800s, although fires and warning beacons have existed on this peninsula for centuries because of the treacherous coastline. Before long, we headed into the forest trails. Almost immediately, the trail began shifting. One moment we were surrounded by trees and birdsong, and the next the forest would suddenly open to dramatic views of cliffs dropping straight into the sea below. The trails twisted through dense green forests, rocky hillsides, and open viewpoints overlooking the water far below. Eventually, we reached one of Kullaberg's most famous spots, Josefinelust. After spotting people relaxing on the cliffs below, we discovered a long staircase leading all the way down to the rocky shoreline. There wasn't a grain of sand anywhere. Instead, the entire cove was covered in massive smooth stones shaped by thousands of years of waves crashing against the cliffs. Naturally, this became our lunch spot. While Terry focused on the very important task of eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I wandered off exploring the giant rock formations, tide pools, seaweed-covered stones, and narrow cracks carved into the cliffs. Some of the rocks were covered in bright yellow lichen, while others glowed green from seaweed drying in the sunlight. Kullaberg is actually a geological hotspot formed by ancient volcanic activity and shaped by glaciers during the Ice Age, which explains the dramatic cliffs and unusual rock formations throughout the peninsula. I climbed up on the higher rocks overlooking the cove while Terry continued devouring the sandwiches below. Everyone has their priorities. The bright spring greenery against the dark rocks and blue water made the coastline incredibly striking. After climbing back up the long staircase, we continued hiking through the forest toward the opposite side of the peninsula. Soon we reached another overlook where a Swedish flag waved above the bay on the calmer eastern side of Kullaberg. From there, we followed the coastal trail back toward Mölle. Passing blooming flowers, rocky beaches, seabirds, and more incredible coastal views along the way. Eventually, the trail flattened out and the town came back into view, with its colorful houses and quiet harbor filled with sailboats and fluttering flags. After a long day of hiking, there was only one logical reward: gelato. We spent a little time relaxing by the harbor before catching the bus back to Helsingborg. Watching the bright yellow fields roll past the windows as the sun started dropping lower over the Swedish countryside. Next time, we'll continue exploring life in Sweden as our Scandinavian adventure continues.